This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Welcome to INCRadio, South Central States Satellite Studio. We thank you for joining us here this morning. Today, we're going to talk about nostalgia, and we're going to do it in a form of this or that. We're going to have a little bit of battle of the preferences. So we're going to drop some suggestions. You choose either this or that. We're going to discuss, go down memory lane. And also, if you're in the live chat, feel free to drop in your own this or that questions so we can talk about them and discuss here. Of course, I'm your host, Nathan Russell, and joining me here in studio, go ahead and introduce yourself.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Rome from Mansfield.
All right, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's start off with MySpace or Instant Messenger. Which one did you prefer? Because they were all around the same time.
Are we talking about Instant Messenger like American Online Instant Messenger or just Instant Messenger?
That's the only one I know. Is there another?
No, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, AOL, Instant Messenger, AIM.
AIM, yeah.
Well, what else was there? There was I know there was MSN.
Yeah, the Hotmail one, I think.
Yeah.
Was one, right? There was a lot of different ones, but I think it depended on what you wanted to do. If you were just trying to talk with people or speak with other people from around the world.
Right. But I mean, they both came out around the same time. Which one did you tend to enjoy more? Messing around with MySpace or actually chatting?
I will say with MySpace, I definitely learned HTML.
Yeah. I think we were all amateur programmers because of it.
Definitely. I didn't have those hex codes memorized for colors at all, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you have like music whenever anyone came on your page?
You had music. You had your page flashing with lights and all kinds of stuff.
You know, some people, they just went overboard and the page didn't even load. Crash your computer if you went on their MySpace. They had way too much HTML code.
Yes, definitely. But I would definitely say, well, now that we're talking about it, probably MySpace more. But if you're just trying to talk to people and get to meet people, Instant Messenger is good. But as far as like the platform like Facebook has now, MySpace definitely started it all. So I think it started going downhill when you had to really narrow down your top 8.
Yeah,
you start.
You can really
start losing some friends. Yeah,
like actual friendships.
Why am I not in your top 8? That's my family. I'm sorry.
I think maybe I have a little more fond memories with Instant Messenger, just because like all your friends were on it, and then you can connect with your friends of your friends.
Right.
And I remember trying to chat with like 8 people all at once.
Yeah,
it's probably not good for your psyche, but. I think I slightly enjoy that a little better. By the way, if you had a really cringy username, maybe you don't want to drop it in the chat.
We don't want to go down that memory lane. I'm gonna turn around and make a U-turn.
You know, the thing with MySpace though, the main difference between MySpace and Facebook, MySpace required you to go to their page to see anything, versus Facebook, they came up with the wall. Where everything was dumped into one continuous. Yes. That was the difference. That's what ended up, I think, killing MySpace was that, they didn't have that, and you didn't have just like random things.
True.
That could pop
if you
up.
wanted to know what's going on with somebody, you had to visit their page.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think that's why that ended. And if you didn't know, a company actually came by and they reproduced MySpace to the T.
Really?
They got it exactly like the old MySpace. Exactly. It's a different name. I forgot the name of it. I remember signing up for it and be like, oh, cool, MySpace again. And I was like, this is why MySpace lost. Like, it's just not as fun.
I did like the AOL for like the chat rooms because like, okay, let me find out who has the same interests as me or whatever.
Right.
I think that's kind of what Reddit is now, like, or maybe some other platforms where you like, hey, let's find some groups of people and try to get some friends
like
out
the
of
forums.
That. Yeah, forums. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sad though. Like forums are kind of dying out because everything
Right.
went to Facebook. And I've said this, like, I think the internet's going to have a big problem, especially with search engines and AI, because search engines don't look into Facebook. So whenever you're looking a question
Right.
online, it always points to the forums
Right.
to get knowledge. It never points to a Facebook group.
Right.
And everybody left the forums. If you notice, like a lot of these forums are like ghost towns.
Because they're not getting that information that they're looking for.
Right. So I think there might be a problem with that in the future. If those forums go offline, you're going to Google something and you're not going to find anything.
Right.
So let's go ahead and jump and see what we have in the chat.
Yeah. Ren says Friendster. I remember Friendster.
Where is that? I want to throw that up there. Did you have a Friendster?
I did have a Friendster.
I did not. I think
I did have a Friendster.
what other ones did I had? Zanga. Did you have a Zanga?
I did have a Zanga.
Yeah.
There's an online diary. Your online diary, you know. My precious thoughts. I hope I don't want to know if they're still out there or not. But
oh man.
Oh man. Farmville. Yeah. Many
here we
hours
go.
waiting.
RJ Gabrantina. The sounds of AIM still live in my brain, like the pings you get when someone messages or when someone logs on. You know what?
The door closing and opening.
Gosh, that sound is probably like 25 years old now at this point. Yeah, and I could still hear it in my head. Yeah, it's different now. Now that we're adults, we have like Microsoft Teams.
Right.
Yeah, then the Skype pings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gives me PTSD.
Yes.
I don't have fond memories
You don't
of
hear
that.
the connecting sounds anymore because everything's like so instant.
Let's see. Oh, you remember Farmville? Facebook?
Yep. I lost so many crops forgetting to, you know.
Oh, I neglected my farm for like 15 years.
Hold on, guys. Let me go tend to my crops.
Yeah. You know, I really got into it until I realized, like, why am I doing chores online? I'm like, forget this. I am not doing chores as a game.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, music and glittery letterings on MySpace.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, you were able to get some stuff floating down the screen and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone did know how to program a little bit.
Yeah, you learned a lot of HTML.
I remember I had to update a website for my company one time, and I had to bust out the HTML. I was like, I remember this.
Yeah. Speaking of programming, like I remember, like on AOL on your profile, you could hide things. Like if you put
plug
in a certain code or whatever, you can hide things on there. That was crazy.
Yeah, I got props for mentioning Zanga. If you go further back, you had GeoCities. You remember that?
I don't remember GeoCities.
You can make your own website, and before there was social media, you would sign the guest book. Someone would have a guest book on their website.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can create your own website. Yep.
Matthew says the pokes on Facebook is what killed MySpace. I like that.
You could still poke people on Facebook, by the way.
Yeah,
search
you just gotta look it up.
Yeah, I brought that back to my friends and started poking them randomly. They're like, "What? You could do that?" I was like, "Yeah, you can." All right, let's go to the next one. Burn CDs or mixtapes? Which did you prefer? Yeah, I know it's tough.
The thing with mixtapes is that you had to request your song to the radio DJ,
right?
And then you'd have to wait there until they played your song.
Is that what you did?
And hit record. That's what I did.
I would just go through my dad's CDs or my CDs, and I would transfer them to a tape. And if you're wondering, like, why would you do that? It's like, well, a lot of the vehicles back then didn't have CD players, so they were very expensive. Yeah. They all came with a tape player
adapter,
standard.
Yeah.
So or use the adapter. But with I remember I was making mixtapes, like even when I was a little kid, when my dad showed me, I was like, oh yeah, you can record stuff. Yeah.
It was easier to re-record on a mixtape if you really needed to.
That's true.
Because the CD, you had to download the songs or upload the songs and put it onto your computer and program it to be able to burn.
Yeah, and hope you didn't LimeWire yourself a virus.
LimeWire, that's another one. Winamp with the skins and everything.
Yeah.
I
remember with LimeWire, you would download a song and then you play it and it'd be something completely different. You're like,
like that's what I get for downloading from LimeWire.
Yeah, back then it took like a day to download one song.
Yeah.
Now it takes like 2 seconds. Back in my day.
Yeah, I do like the mixed CDs though, because like you would have some people decorating the CD itself.
Like, I remember doing
with
that
the Sharpie.
Yeah.
putting little pictures, hearts, flowers, whatever.
Yeah. It had to be well thought out. Like you
Yes.
thought about the order and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So I think between the two, I probably slightly favor the mixtape.
Mm.
You had to be a little more thoughtful, including with like the time, because the tape has a very set
yes.
time
True.
that you can put on each side.
Yeah.
And you had to listen to the music as you recorded it.
Right.
So that's why I kind of favor it. And
Yeah.
I also remember like recording because I had like a karaoke machine. I figured I could record my guitar on it. So I used to like do jam sessions on it. So I favor the mixtape a little more.
Yeah,
what about you?
I think that's true. Like you could definitely have two different feels, especially with side A, side B. You could have like, a different story for each side.
Right,
whatever the case may be. But CDs definitely, and the thing is also when you give that tape to a person, they can't fast forward, they can't skip a track.
That's true.
As easily. Yep. They would have to fast forward, but they couldn't skip a track. They'd have to listen to the entire song for the most part, and then you get the full effect. So yeah, I'd probably lean towards the mixtape as well.
Yeah. By the way, we do not approve of illegally downloading music. All the music we downloaded was 100% legal. I'm just gonna disclaimer that because YouTube's probably transcribing this.
Did you ever have? It was a very slow phase where they had the laser discs.
I did not. No, I didn't touch laser disc at all.
Laser discs were just like a.
They were the massive
double side, like it was like a record, like a vinyl.
Yep.
But as a disc, like you would use as a CD. It was.
Yeah.
We had one and we barely used it. It was for karaoke, I think. But yeah.
Gotcha. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, this one I couldn't do, regardless of the choice. Rollerblades or roller skates? What did you prefer? I had a pair of rollerblades. I could not do it.
I do remember going to like skating rink parties for elementary school, and for the most part, growing up, there wasn't that many rollerblades. But when it did come out, I loved the rollerblades. It was a little different having the mechanics of it, but I liked it a little bit better. I definitely go around the street.
Grew up on the streets.
I went on the streets with the rollerblades, but I would also throw in there skateboards, right? Because like when you see somebody on the street,
that was another rivalry. The rollerblades versus skateboarders.
X Games type stuff.
I think those skateboarders ended up winning overall. Rollerblading is not as big.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like if you see somebody outside on the street rollerblading, you're like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, is he exercising?
What is he doing? But then if you see somebody like with a skateboard, like, oh, that guy's cool. Like he's just trying to get to the store or whatever.
Yeah. I remember there was definitely that rivalry back in high school. Like the skateboarders made fun of like rollerblades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's like, you just choose one or the other.
Yeah. Because I mean, rollerblades, you had to carry around your sneakers if you plan to go somewhere else. Like afterwards, you had to take off your blades.
Did you ever do ice skating? I could ice skate a little bit.
Yeah, I've done ice skating.
Yeah, but it's kind of scary because there's little knives on your feet.
Especially you got to watch out for those figure skaters practicing in the middle, like don't want to chop like Final Destination type stuff.
All right, let's jump to the next one. Oh, here we go. This harkens back to our childhood. Capri Sun or High C?
Ooh.
Did you have an affinity for Ecto Cooler? You remember that flavor?
Oh yeah, the Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters
Actually, I remember growing up on jugs. You ever had those? They look like little barrels.
Yeah.
Yeah, you poke the hole in your.
That's not a choice.
You had to poke two holes, so, the airflow would get out.
It's funny how they sold us just like colored sugar water.
They still sell some of them. But let's see. I see, or I probably
because those two were like really heavily marketed to kids,
especially on the go. On the go, I would go with Capri Sun.
Yeah.
High C.
I remember High C was at least in like Burger King and McDonald's. I think. You could always get that.
Or even Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, the Kool-Aid powder mix. But
those pouches came late to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really was about the Capri Sun High C empire.
Empire, like I said, especially for pouches and on the go, but like at home, getting 2 or 3 packs, maybe even 5 packs of that powder, mixing it with like a quart of water.
Yeah, I was Capri Sun.
Okay, we got a couple of people here. Capri Sun, Team Capri Sun.
Yeah, there we go. The Johnson family there in Jacksonville. I say Capri Sun.
Yeah.
Same with Brother Matt, our minister there in Lubbock, Capri Sun.
Mm.
Yeah. If you look at Capri Sun, the main ingredient is pear juice. That was their thing.
Pear juice?
Yeah. All of their drinks are pear juice mixed with some other flavor. Yep.
Interesting.
Because Capri Sun has a very distinct kind of taste to it.
Yeah.
Right. If you think about Capri Sun, there's that very distinct taste, and then they just add another flavor on top of it.
I think the only downside to Capri Sun is trying to get that straw into the
Yeah.
package. You either got it in there or you went straight through.
Yep. I remember some kids, if they were really cool, they could do it from the bottom.
Yeah. I would do that as well.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it.
Yeah,
stick
you just
right
end
there.
up bending your straw.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, let's go ahead and jump to our first thinking cap. Let's see. Did I jump? Oh, no, that's the second one. Let's go to the first one. Here we go. In 1983, Nintendo released the first video game console, the Famicom, in Japan. What was it called here in the US? So if you're new,
Question.
just drop the letter into the chat. That's how we grade it. We only count the first reply that you give, so make sure your first one is the best one. So is it A, the family computer, B, the Nintendo Entertainment System, C, the Super Nintendo, or D, the GameCube?
All good choices.
The Famicom. What was it called here in the US? Go ahead and drop your answers into the chat. All right, let's jump back into it.
Was it really 1983? Yeah, it seems like so long ago.
I believe so. I think we got one in 87, I want to say. Yeah, I remember that, playing it as a kid.
I remember getting one for my birthday, like Kmart or something.
Yeah. Games were like $80 back then. And if you think about like inflation,
The games or the system?
The games by themselves were like $80 back
Jeez.
then. I remember. And if you think about inflation, that's like what, like a $200 game now? Crazy how much they used to cost. But all right, let's go to the next one. Oh, we're still on topic of drinks. Yoo-hoo or Nesquik? I'm gonna say right away, it was just Nesquik.
Nesquik, definitely.
Because you mixed it with milk, because they did have the powder.
Yeah.
Yoo-hoo didn't have the powder, but when they sold Nesquik in the stores,
Yeah.
it was milk.
Right.
Yoo-hoo is made with water.
Right. Yeah, you definitely tell the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember looking at Yoo-hoo and being like, water? What is this? This is not a chocolate milk. This is a chocolate drink.
Right. And with the powder of the Nesquik, you can definitely choose how chocolatey you wanted your chocolate milk to be.
Yep. Yeah, just scooping that sugar.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you just grab the powder, just dunk it in there, and then let it solidify.
What?
And just scoop it right in your mouth.
What about Ovaltine?
Ovaltine? I don't
Remember
know.
Ovaltine? It's like,
I remember that. I thought of that as like a more of an old person drink. You know, like Ovaltine. Like, it just sounds like Oval. Let me grab some Ovaltine. You know?
Let's see in the chat. What do we have? We got Team Nesquik.
Team Nesquik, yeah.
Well, okay. What was your favorite Nesquik flavor?
It's just chocolate for me.
Chocolate?
Yeah, I couldn't do the strawberry.
Banana's been my favorite.
I didn't even know they had a banana.
Yeah. They got a lot more flavors now. And that was like the weird thing. Back then, they were like, you get 3 flavors and that's it. Right? And
the
now,
Neapolitan special.
Now, every flavor under the sun they're coming out with every other week.
I can't have that. Too many choices, too many decisions.
Yeah, for me, I can't do the sugar. I just can't. My body doesn't handle sugar very well anymore. All right, let's jump into the next one. Ooh, cameras. Polaroid camera or disposable camera?
Ooh, a lot of pros and cons for each. That's for sure.
Which one did you use more?
We mostly had disposable cameras or film cameras growing up. I didn't have a lot of Polaroids cameras back then. Even now, I have a Polaroid camera. I don't really use it.
Yeah, the quality is definitely suffering a bit when it comes to Polaroids.
Because sometimes when you developed it, or when it developed, like you'd have like different colors on there, and it didn't quite.
Yeah, or the lighting would be way off.
Yeah, or not enough lighting. Like the flash didn't work.
Yep. Or the flash worked a little too well.
Right, but then again, if you did that and you saw it within like 5 minutes later, you could retake it.
Yeah, that was the cool thing.
But with disposables, you had to drop it off.
Yeah, and
wait a week, and then you're like, oh man, look at this. Oh, I messed up. Oh, and then you wasted all the time.
Me and my friends, when we went camping in northern Alabama, I bought a whatchamacallit, one of those disposable cameras. I took so many pictures. I'm like, man, this is gonna be the most epic like set of pictures ever. And I get it back, and like 3 of the pictures were blurry.
Right.
Okay. And then the rest of them were all black.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible.
So yeah, we got nothing
That's
out of that
horrible.
trip.
Yeah, because then like if you had a Polaroid, you could just retake it. But
Yep.
then with the disposable, you're that moment has long gone and passed.
Yep. Let's see. What are they saying in the chat? Let's see. Oh, Matt was talking about before marketing in your environment. Yeah, that was a big thing. Marketing, especially like sugary cereals. What was your favorite cereal growing up? Can you think? I think it might have been Fruity Pebbles for me, but that is just pure sugar right there.
It's definitely Cocoa Puffs.
Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
So you were a chocolate guy.
I'm definitely a chocolate guy. I mean, I think that's why I'm the color I am.
Moving on. Oh, they don't do toys in cereal boxes.
No,
anymore,
they don't. They don't.
Yeah, you know what the hack for that was you would open it from the bottom.
Yeah.
Get the toy right away.
Yeah.
Sometimes you would just pick the cereal just for the toy.
And they don't really put that much into the packaging as much anymore, because you used to grab a bowl, put the cereal, then the milk, right?
Not yes, the milk, that's the proper cereal. Order.
That's proper order, right? Then you put the box right in front of you, and you just be like chewing while trying to find whatever they put on there.
Yep, they would have like mazes or word puzzles on the box.
Nowadays, they don't have any of that.
I don't even know. I haven't bought cereal in forever.
Yeah, I buy some for my kids every now and then, and they don't have that anymore.
Yeah, Johnson family, they brought up a good point. You bought those disposable cameras or whatnot. You only had like the 25 pictures you could take.
Yeah.
You had to make them count.
Yeah.
And selfies weren't a thing either.
Oh no.
Not really.
No.
Nope. Yeah, they didn't come around until you could, retake pictures with your phone.
Right.
So yeah, we are very fortunate nowadays.
Definitely.
All right, what are we moving to? Oh, did you pick one between Polaroid or disposable?
I probably have to give it to the disposable, even though there are so many cons to it. Like,
yeah, I kind of don't like either, but I think I slightly have fonder memories of Polaroid. Just thinking of the ones my family took.
Yeah,
the Polaroid pictures we took. So but they were both terrible.
That's probably because I never really had a Polaroid. Camera.
Yeah.
They were pretty chunky back then too. You had to lift up the top.
Yep.
To be able to get the flash going, and then it was just so junky, like so huge. Disposable cameras, just like size of a phone right now. So.
Yeah, they even had the waterproof ones.
Yeah,
I remember that was fun.
Like
jumping in the pool. Like, let's take underwater pictures.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yep. All right. VHS or DVD?
Oh.
Yeah, these are all difficult.
That's why it's so hard.
I think I would have to say for myself, VHS.
Why?
Just from the types of movies that came out during that era. So that's really imprinted on my childhood.
Right.
But you could also record. So I remember we would make movies because the old video cameras, you could just put the whole VHS in and then you could record it.
Right.
So I remember when we were kids, we would make horror movies and whatnot.
Nice.
So that's the memories I have. DVD, no, you couldn't do that. It was this is your movie and that's it.
Right.
Plus, I remember you would have friends that knew how to record movies on the VHS.
Yeah. They have the 2 VHS players on top of each other.
Yeah.
But the only problem with VHS is it was so easy to record over them.
Yep.
Unless you pop that little tab out.
And the quality definitely does not match DVD.
But that's part of it, I think.
The movies in that era though, even when you upscale in DVD, you weren't even that great.
Yeah, that's part of it though. If you bring up that point of as far as the nostalgia part of it, I definitely go with VHS.
Yeah.
Mostly because I remember those Friday nights going to the video store, trying to be the first one there right after school.
Yeah.
To get that movie released.
You did have to rewind them though.
Yeah, or you paid 50 cents.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't rewind it. It was either 50 cents for not rewinding or $3 for turning it in late. So here you go.
Yeah. Remember those Disney movie boxes? They were always different. They always had to be different in the little plastic case.
Yeah.
So that was annoying whenever you were a VHS collector. right?
They weren't the same size.
Yeah. So you'd have one that was
It's
just
sticking out.
oddly shaped, or it came in
Yeah.
like a weird box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, we got some more in the chat
Yeah.
who joined us. Oh, let's go back to disposable cameras, what V says. So disposable cameras and not knowing how your pictures turn out until you get it developed.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Melanie, my wife, I remember going to Toys R Us for the first time. I thought it was the most wonderful place in the world. All right. Since we're talking about that.
That's where a kid can be a kid,
Toys R Us or KB Toys?
Ooh, now there's oh man, this is
I think all the way it's Toys R Us because it was always its own store.
No, I don't know. KB for me, it was like the GameStop of our era.
That's true.
It was
also
easily
in the mall.
it was easily accessible, right?
Yeah.
It's at the mall, easy accessible. You
there
can
were
go
more
there.
of them, yeah.
Yeah, there's more of them.
KB Toys.
Toys R Us mostly like, stores off by themselves. Kind of didn't really go into those type stores. So KB for me.
KB Toys.
Yeah.
Let's see. V also adds on some Polaroid cameras now have the screen where you can see yourself before taking the picture. That's cheating. That defeats the purpose. No, not really. That is a good idea though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Toys. Oh, I think this is in reference to Toys R Us. There's only one. I thought they kind of brought it back. I remember they said they were shutting down. They were
supposed to.
And then they kind of brought it back. And then probably people went in there like, I'm not paying that much money for a toy. Because I remember that was the thing back then too. Yeah, Toys R Us was cool, but they were expensive.
I think that's another reason why I would go with KB.
Yeah. Actually, I would say the games, there were more at Toys R Us. I remember it was like a wall of just like the box art.
Yeah.
And then I think you would take a ticket or something to the front and they would get you the game. But it was just like, I remember seeing a massive wall. Let's see. Melanie picked DVD, no need to rewind. You also did get like the commentary and the extras. So that was a nice thing.
Yeah.
Back when you could watch that.
Behind the scenes or blooper reels.
I wonder why they never put that into like streaming services. True. Those little extras.
They do. You just have to like click down to the extras or whatever.
Oh, really? Yeah, they're included.
Some of them will have them in there. Yeah.
Yeah, because like when you really, really like a movie, instead of like watching it over and over and over, you'd be like, oh, let me hear the director's commentation, stuff like that. Yeah. Learn different things or see like the outtakes. Let's see. V says VHS is childhood, but I was so glad when the Blu-ray came out. I loved how I don't have to rewind anymore. Remember the HD DVD and Blu-ray?
The battle?
Yeah, the battle.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder why Blu-ray ended up winning. Do you know why?
I want to say it was because of Sony.
Oh, because of Sony.
Yeah, because with the video games, they brought out the Blu-ray, and the video game for I want to say Xbox was with the.
It had Blu-ray capability.
No, it didn't have the Blu-ray. It had the other one. Was it? We were just
HD DVD.
It had HD DVD. So
they were competing.
That. Yeah, they were competing, and since Sony was leaning out more, Microsoft tended to go with the Blu-rays.
Yeah. I remember hearing Blu-ray and I'm like, it's blue. That sounds cool.
Yeah, and then the discs were actually blue.
It shoots Blu-rays. It's all marketing.
Am I going to get radiation?
Okay, Blu-ray or DVD?
I think to me it doesn't even really matter.
To me it does a little bit because I remember the first Blu-ray players, they were terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were extremely slow.
But then again, it's not going to matter if you don't have the right TV.
That's true. Yeah. So, I mean, I had a plasma TV at the time.
Yeah.
You did get better quality, but I think the performance of a lot of the players, like you had to spend quite a bit to get a decent Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I still lean back to DVD. And there were just more DVDs that came out than Blu-rays.
True.
In the end.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely would go for Blu-ray if it's like an action movie or something like with a lot of special effects. I definitely go with Blu-ray.
Do you still have a Blu-ray player?
I do, actually.
I just have a PlayStation. I don't have a dedicated one anymore.
Yeah, no, I have a dedicated Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
I even have a portable DVD player.
I still kept my DVDs. I got way more DVDs than Blu-ray.
Yeah. I used to love going to like, the store, Best Buy or whatever on Wednesdays or Tuesdays when new movies would come out and just like that would be my Tuesday ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Johnson family says VHS. Oh, nice. They even have an emoji. I wonder if kids know what that emoji means. Okay, DVD, no need to wait too long to rewind.
Yeah.
VHS was more enjoyable. Let's see. Ren says VHS. He actually loved the rewinder.
Yeah. Some people had those cool ones that looked like a car or something, you know?
Car.
If they had a car one, you knew they were movie buffs.
Let's see. Used to be cool when you had your own VHS rewinder.
Yeah, the dedicated one.
You imagine like you're at someone's house and they're rewinding it in the VHS. You're like, look at this guy.
Yeah. Because then you could still watch a movie while the other one's rewinding.
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot how long it used to take to rewind. It used to take like a good 5-10 minutes.
Oh
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
They were loud too.
Let's see. Ren says in DVD there are scene options. Yep. Let's see. V says they had Toys R Us in Germany, and so they want to bring it back. Yeah, I would want my kid to. Well, I guess he's becoming less and less of a kid now that he's growing up, but that is a fun experience. Diane Silva says there's still Toys R Us in Zambia. There we go.
Whoa.
Road trip. Let's see. Cheating, but at least it was not wasting that expensive picture paper. She's talking about the Poloroids.
Yeah, the Polaroids,
that's the other downfall
that
to
was
it.
the downfall.
Because even nowadays to buy Polaroid film, it's pricey.
Yeah. And you only get like 10 shots.
All right. Let's do our next thinking cap. Let's see. That was the old one. Let me advance it. We don't have a tech today, so it's just the two of us. I got to run everything. All right. For the compact disc type CDRW, what does the RW stand for? Is it E, ready to write, F, read write, G, read writable, or H, rewritable? I already forgot.
I'm laughing at these choices.
What is the answer?
I don't know. What is the answer?
Hold on. Do I have it here? What? I already forgot. This is bad. Okay. That's the answer.
Oh, that's funny.
It says it on the thing. So if you still have your CDRWs, you can go find one real quick.
Get one from my desk drawer.
Let's see. We're joined by Crizel. They're in Toronto greeting us. Thank you for joining all the way in Toronto. Let's see a few more comments. There are nights when I would ask Dad to rewind a movie for me, and I will watch even though it's late. Yeah. See, there's just the memories attached with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it comes down to with a lot of nostalgia is your memories.
Yeah.
If you don't want to ruin those memories, I would advise do not try to actually relive it now. Yeah. You know, one example of that is like some of the TV shows, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon that came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
Right? If I were to ask you, was that a fun show to watch?
Yeah.
You'd say, yeah.
Definitely.
Go watch it now. You'd be like, this show is terrible.
I've tried watching actually.
You're like, these are terrible.
Yeah.
Who was watching this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not good.
Yep. Same with like the Super Mario Brothers cartoon.
Yeah.
I was like, I was trying to tell my sons, like, yeah, you gotta watch this. This is great. Super Mario Bros. Put it on.
Kids look at you like, what are you watching?
So yeah, nostalgia will betray you.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Oh, this is a big one. Sega or Nintendo?
Nintendo. Easy.
I was a Nintendo kid too.
Easy Nintendo.
The marketing. Yeah, when you look at it now, you see that they were competing definitely on marketing terms.
Oh yeah, that's for the most part. I think that's how it always is.
And I remember back then, the Sega kids, they always bragged about, oh, it's 16-bit. You only have 8-bit. Nobody even knew what a bit was back then. When you were bragging about you had 16, it's like 16 is more than 8.
Yeah, we got 3 buttons. You only have 2.
Yeah, what are we gonna do with those 3 buttons? So yeah, I do think Nintendo had much better games.
Yes,
even though it only had 2 buttons.
And it had the gun.
Oh yeah, the blaster.
The one I had a little robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Sega had their own versions of it, but they could never come out with something to go with it.
I do like some of the games that Sega had.
I think if you were a sports fan, Sega definitely had that down.
I remember
like NHL 94.
I think it was called Altered Beast or something. Like
I remember that,
where the guy would like change into different animals or something. Yeah. The graphics when they would change.
That game was so hard. I remember playing the first level like over and over and over.
I mean, talking about not going back and reliving, trying to play the games that you played when you were a kid. Oh my gosh, the hard as anything.
Yeah.
Because I have the little ones that came out that the little mini versions
Yeah.
of the Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
I have one of those. I'm trying to play these games. I'm like, I'm not playing this anymore. Like,
Yeah, some of
forget
them were
this.
really difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember my son was telling me, he's like, I beat Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I was like, I could never beat it.
Yeah.
But he used save states. So on the Switch, you can rewind your mistakes.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, though. Back then, you had no...
Yeah, if you got to the last level and you died, you're like, guess what, buddy? You're starting out in world 1-1.
If you didn't have a Game Genie...
Oh, yeah, the Game Genie with the cheat codes.
Yeah. I'm sure if you ask anybody like that grew up back in the day with Nintendo, like, hey, what's the one code that you had to know?
Yep, the Konami code.
Yeah, for Contra.
Yeah, for bonus points, dropping the Konami code into
put that
the chat.
in there you go.
With emojis.
Yes, I want to see it. Who knows it?
Yeah, although I always knew it as the Contra code.
Yes, Contra. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the first introduction for me.
It was like 99 lives or something you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could actually beat the game with that. Let's see.
I do like the games systems back then. I want to say for me, it was mostly sitting next to the person that you're playing the game
That's
with.
true, yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
different now. Everything's
online.
But you used to go to friends' houses to play video games, yeah.
And if they beat you, you could be like, man,
you can punch them in the shoulder.
Well, you cheated or whatever, you know. That part of it was like really good.
Oh, that was Halo. It's like, hey, quit screen watching.
Yeah. Or oh no, the one that killed everybody was GoldenEye.
Yeah, GoldenEye.
No odd jobs, okay? No odd jobs.
Because he was short.
Yeah, you always had to aim down. Yeah, that was a cheat code right there.
All right. Ren's brought up the X-Men. You remember X-Men?
Oh, yes.
The old cartoon. I wonder if that actually holds up. Because that's based on the comic. So I bet that actually holds up a little bit better. Let's see. We got a lot of Team Nintendos. Yep.
A lot of Team Nintendos.
I remember too the rivalry between that growing up. Like you hated the Sega kids. You're like, nuh-uh, Nintendo's better. 16-bit, bro. Let's see. Power Rangers. Remember that?
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. I remember after the first episode of Power Rangers, like in my neighborhood, like all the kids ran out at the same time. We were like trying to claim our Power Ranger and then beat each other up.
And start morphing and like fighting each other in the yard. I don't remember that at all.
Duck Hunt. You couldn't beat that game. It just kept going on forever. That was another thing. It's like, why did Nintendo have those games that just go forever?
That dog. When it would laugh at you, oh my gosh. Don't let me hear that sound right now.
Yeah, everyone shot the dog.
Yeah.
Or tried to.
You're like, I know the duck got away. What are you laughing at me for?
PC games.
I never had a PC, so I couldn't do it.
Computer Lab. That's cool. You could play Number Munchers. Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail. You have died of dysentery.
Yeah. I remember downloading Oregon Trail to like a modern computer.
Yeah.
And because the modern computer was so much faster, it's like there was no time in between the events. It was just like zip, 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 zip.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So you could beat the game in like 5 minutes.
Oh,
I think we got the correct. Is that correct? Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start. Yep. That is the Konami code.
That's the one I remember.
Guitar Hero and Company. I think Guitar Hero is still kind of going. They have like arcades and stuff.
I missed that. I see it's at round 1. They have one. We played it. It was fun. Bring it back. I wish I never got rid of mine.
I know there's a few Guitar Hero songs. It's like it's easier to play the real guitar song.
Oh yeah.
Than to play the version on Guitar Hero.
Definitely. I remember Rock Band too. Always playing on the drums.
I've never played this. Jerry Hill says his favorite NES game.
I never played that either.
I'll have to go find it. DDR.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, DDR, and then they also had the diagonal DDR, the ripoff.
Yeah.
That was diagonal.
Yeah. Too many options.
The Sims. I never played Sims. Did you?
I tried it. I never really got to it, but I played like the Roller Coaster Tycoon.
You played that?
That was fun.
I was more of a like StarCraft Command and Conquer.
Right.
Yeah, that was more my jam.
There's too much for me going on. Like you have to like select this and go here and go there. I get confused.
Yeah, I guess that's another one. Were you a Command and Conquer or were you a StarCraft? Yeah, drop that into the chat. So I think between the two, I'd probably lean towards Command and Conquer. Yeah. Yeah. Well, runs is StarCraft. Let's see. Yep. We got people who like The Sims. Oh yeah, remember the PC games used to came in these neat. That's another thing too, with everything being
Yeah.
digital, you don't get the physical box
No.
anymore that would come with like a booklet and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I think that's why people around our age never get rid of boxes anymore.
You got
Like
a point there.
it takes so much effort for me to like, okay, I'll throw away the box. Okay, it's gone. All right. Not having to go back and
Yeah.
grab it.
I'm already thinking about the shelf I have that's accumulating boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Although like those Amazon boxes, I do like to use them to if I have to like return something else.
Yeah, for sure.
Having a box on
For
hand.
sure.
Oh, here we go.
Carmen Sandiego.
FPSs. No,
I
this
remember
one
that
right
one.
here, Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike.
All right. Well, let's throw this one out there. Were you Counter-Strike or Halo?
I couldn't focus, and my hand-eye coordination is not very good, so it was too hard for me to have one thumb going this way, one thumb going that way.
Yeah.
So all those RPG games, I am not a fan of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never really got into Counter-Strike. The few times I got in it, it's like because it's like a PC game.
Right.
There was just people who were just insanely good at it.
Yeah, even with the keyboard,
Yeah.
having to do that. I don't know.
Or they would have like aimbot. So I would say
Yeah.
that was more Halo than Counter-Strike. But yeah, you did bring up Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah.
The show or the game?
Yes.
They had a whole thing
Yeah.
where it started out as was it the show or the computer game?
I think it was a show.
No, I think it was the computer game first.
Was the computer game
Yeah,
first?
I think it was.
Either way, I liked it because it helped you learn about geography as well.
Yep.
Geography and landmarks and all kinds of stuff.
I bet if you rewatch old episodes, you'd be like, hold on a second, those countries don't exist anymore.
I'm screaming at the kids like, how do you not know that? You know?
Oh yeah. If you were the kid that got like Africa, like good luck. You're not going to identify those countries. Let's see. So yeah, Duck Hunt.
12 hours of Sims? That's insane.
Okay, Melanie, that's called a problem. Although I feel like I might have played like Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
And almost given myself carpal tunnel. Okay, RPGs. You know, since he brought up RPGs, what were the main ones? There's like Final Fantasy.
Was Final Fantasy an RPG or
Yeah,
it's like a role-based term, right?
Yeah. Isn't that kind of what an RPG was? The traditional is like it was
Oh, I'm thinking
turn-based.
RPG and first player RPG.
First person shooter.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Okay, so there, yeah.
So okay.
Yeah,
so
Final Fantasy.
Pokemon or Final Fantasy, if you had to pick one.
I mostly played Pokemon. I never really played
Yeah, me
Final
neither.
Fantasy. I tried to play
Even
Kingdom
though Final
Hearts.
Fantasy apparently is like the biggest game ever. I've never
Yeah.
played it.
I tried to play Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
It's like Disney and Final Fantasy combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I was Pokemon definitely.
Which
I had to
was your
think about
starter?
it. Like Pokemon goes way back to like
A long time
so it's
ago.
like 30-year-old game
A
now.
long time ago.
Who was my starter?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was red or blue, right? But you could
Right.
still pick any of the three, right?
Yeah.
Did I pick? I probably went with fire
Mm,
all the time. I think I played through with each one,
yeah.
but I got Pokemon Yellow, so I can actually start with Pikachu.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm a Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur?
I like the
The
earth
plant?
types. Yeah,
Okay.
grass types.
Yeah, I remember it was like that was a big decision you had to make,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you try to look at the guides and like which one am I going to need more?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else do we have here in the chat. I don't know what Ragnarok is.
I've never played that. Seems like a lot of people have played Ragnarok though.
Melanie says she used to play Counter-Strike and beat the other guys in the internet cafes.
Mm.
That's quite a bold claim. Let's see. Oh, World of Warcraft. Did you ever get into that?
I did not.
Yeah, I
Is that
didn't
kind of like
either.
StarCraft as well, but like with
No, it's like
medieval
you
or
would create a character. You can like level them up, and then it was
okay.
open world.
I see.
Yeah, that's also been around for a while. I never got into that.
I'm not very good with the open world stuff. I get too sidetracked and
Mhm.
I'm more of a side scroller type or like a linear based game like Batman or God of War, stuff like
There's
that.
there's like World War II, like aircraft game,
Hmm.
and it's like Warcraft where you got to like slowly build up like your stats and everything.
Oh yeah, I don't have I ain't got.
I was like,
nobody
this,
got
it
time for
becomes a
that.
chore. Yeah, I don't have time for that.
I don't have time for
So V says Charmander first. So she's a fire type.
Yeah. Chikorita.
See, I think that comes
Most
later.
main
That
grass
was after me. That's how we're aging ourselves.
type.
Because how many Pokemon did they start off with back then? It's like
It was
150.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they're at what,
Oh,
500
I
or
don't
something
know.
like
It's
that.
crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Oh, Roadster plays World of Warcraft until now.
Nice.
Let's see. Yep, here we go. Command and Conquer, Red Alert. Oh, my phone went to sleep. It has our list. Okay, let's go back. Oh, what time is it? 12:15. We should do our last thinking cap before I forget.
Yeah, before.
All right. Third one. Make it count. What music player did Apple launch in 2001? Is it J, the iPhone, K, the iPod, L, the iMusic, or M, the Apple Store? Drop your letter in the chat. I should have added Zune, but I think it would have been obvious. It was not the Zune.
No Zunes.
Oh, and Ren says there's 900 plus already. Pokemon.
That's too much.
That is way too much. All right. I don't know what this is.
Probably a Pokemon.
It's probably a Pokemon. If I see any nonsense in the chat, I'll be like, it's a Pokemon. Oh, I'm going to put the answer. So, yeah. Is that a Pokemon? Gardevoir.
Like, is it a Pokemon?
Or is that like a Harry Potter spell?
Yeah. This or that.
All right. Oh, Friends or Seinfeld?
Friends.
I didn't watch either.
I didn't really watch Seinfeld. I started watching it actually on Netflix since they have it there now.
Mm-hmm.
So I started watching. I'm like, okay, it's pretty funny. But as far as the two go, I'll go for Friends.
Yeah, I'd go for Seinfeld just because my dad would watch it. Every now and then I'd watch it with him. So, yeah.
I don't know. Some people say it's boring because it's a show about nothing.
You get the joke.
If there's some Seinfeld watchers, they'll know the joke.
Here we go. Yep. Seinfeld, Friends. So yeah, they're split on that. Oh, here's another TV show. Set of TV shows: Saved by the Bell or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
See, now that's a hard one.
For me, it's easy. It was Fresh Prince all the way.
Yeah.
Yep. Just I loved it way more. I thought it was funnier.
That's a hard one.
I mean, Will Smith. Come on, Will Smith was such a screen presence.
I mean, as far as production and the way they filmed it, yeah, Fresh Prince is better. Did they have the better like storylines and plots? Probably, yeah. But then Saved by the Bell, as far as nostalgia wise, definitely Saturday mornings watching that.
Yeah.
Especially until they got to the college years. And it seemed like they were in high school forever. But
I wonder how many seasons that ran for.
They had
definitely
lot.
More than 4.
They had the college years, and then they had the after college years, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe, and then they had like certain specials where they went to like Hawaii and stuff like that. But you're like,
yeah, remember TGIF?
TGIF is where it was at.
See, it was kind of nicer when there was fewer selections back in the day, because then like your friends would also have watched it.
Yeah, no choice overloads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. What are people saying in the chat? Why do people keep rewatching Friends? Someone pointed out there's like channels dedicated to this where they remove the laugh tracks from a lot of these sitcoms, and you realize like these shows weren't funny at all.
I mean, Friends is constantly playing on Syndicate, so if you turn on a certain channel, it's on there all the time. Yeah. Like it's literally the only thing that they show.
For me, Home Improvement has been my comfort show lately.
Home Improvement.
Yeah, I could fall asleep to that show. It's just so comforting. See, what are people saying? Johnson Family says Fresh Prince. Joanne, completely off topic, Dawson's Creek.
I don't want to wait.
I never watched any of those WB shows. Did you?
Is it WB or CW? I think that it kind of turned into
CW,
CW,
it turned into CW.
Yeah. No, I never really watched them. There were some that I tried to watch.
Because they had the Superman show, right? Smallville.
Lois and Clark, I think, was on there.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I never watched.
Felicity.
I felt like I was just too young to get into that.
There's a lot of shows that we just named for people that don't watch that channel.
Yeah, see, we have mentioning here. Buffy, I never watched.
Yeah,
Let's
see,
see.
I can't decide.
Can't decide.
If I had to decide between those two, I would probably just go with Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Nanny with Fran Dresser.
Her laugh was something.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, The Great American Hero, but I wanted to click this one. Law and Order. What was your favorite Law and Order? What version? I like Criminal Intent because Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, there's Law and Order, Criminal Intent, SVU. Was there one more?
The OG Law and Order.
The OG one.
I'm sure there was.
I probably watched SVU.
Like Law and Order Parking Disorder or something.
Yeah. I probably watch SVU. But I can't watch it too much because the content that's on there. But here's one: Law and Order or Criminal Minds.
Law and Order. I never saw Criminal
Minds.
No.
No. Criminal Minds is pretty good.
V mentioned Full House.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep. For cartoons. Okay. Family Guy or Simpsons?
Simpsons.
Simpsons? What would I pick?
Simpsons can tell the future.
When I was older, it was probably Family Guy by a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because the jokes were a little more less young. I'll say that. Yeah. Boy Meets World. Oh yeah, remember? Did we mention TGI Friday?
We did.
Yeah. Oh, those were great times.
Yeah.
Because you could just tune in
Family
on Friday,
Matters,
7 o'clock all the way through. Yeah, and just watch them all. Let's see. We have Brother Paul greeting us from Dallas. Thanks for joining. Let's see. Koopy Poon says MacGyver's the best TV show in the Philippines during the 80s.
Ooh.
I don't think I watched any TV shows in the 80s.
MacGyver or Knight Rider?
Yeah, I never watched either.
Never read Knight? Oh, man.
Yeah.
MacGyver or Knight Rider?
Well, because I was born in 85. So by the time I was aware, I think my favorite show back then that's kind of from that era would be Airwolf. Remember that?
Yeah.
About the helicopter?
Yeah, because they had a helicopter with Airwolf. They had the car
cool.
with Knight Rider. And they had something else.
It was also absurd because a helicopter going like Mach 2, like those blades would just disintegrate.
Yeah. Ahead of its time. Miami Vice. Yeah.
Miami Vice.
Okay. Yeah.
Simpsons. Oh, the original Nickelodeon. See, I didn't have cable.
No.
Remember
watching Snick, guys? So there was TGIF and then there was Snick.
Yeah.
Saturday night Nickelodeon.
I know some of the Nickelodeon shows like Doug, they ended up on ABC.
Yeah,
so
Doug
that I
was
could
really
watch
good.
them.
Doug was really good. I love that show.
Recess. That was big for
Recess.
our generation.
Yeah.
So if I told you Recess or Doug, which one?
Doug.
Really?
Doug.
I was Recess.
Doug.
Yeah.
Doug all the way.
Recess.
Skeeter? Come on.
He's blue. All right. We have a few more. Oh, this is going to be a big one. MTV or VH1?
We're talking about back then, right? If we're going...
Yeah, I don't even know what they are now.
There's like nothing on there right now.
The M doesn't stand for music anymore, for sure now. I was definitely MTV. They seemed like they were the cooler ones.
Yeah. Yeah, leaving back in the day, I would probably say MTV.
So I feel like VH1, that was more for like older people.
Yeah.
It seemed like. Yeah. Like, hey, you want to know about the 70s band? Want to watch a documentary on it? No, I want TRL.
They had some good shows on there. I don't remember them, but I remember some good shows on VH1.
Yeah. Okay, so were you more of a rap or rock person?
Probably rap back then, but I'm finding myself listening to a lot more rock nowadays.
Yeah, I grew up on rock, so
definitely
rock music. Let's see, they're still talking about old cartoons like Rugrats, Dexter's Lab.
Good.
I never heard of Rocket Power.
Rocket Power is like, I would kind of relate that to Recess, probably. Chips.
Like the food?
No, California Highway Patrol.
The Wild Thornberries. Like the food? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Celebrity Deathmatch. That was funny. All right. We do have a few more, but I think before we do that, maybe we should go over the answers to the thinking cap.
Sure.
Let's do that. All right. Let's backtrack. Okay. The first one, Nintendo. They released the Famicom in Japan. That was called the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was the NES. Yep. CDRW stands for rewritable H. Actually thought it was
I thought it was F.
F or G. Yeah. But it's H. Lastly, what music player did Apple launch in 2001? The iPod.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And when I was a teacher, it got stolen often. iPods. Never leave those things laying around.
Oh, no.
All right. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. So here you can see your name, your score so far for this month. Of course, at the end of the month, the winner, we send them a mug. So the more you tune in, the more you answer and get it right, the better chance you have of winning a mug. In the lead, Rose Warwick.
Yeah, congratulations.
Jacksonville. Good job.
Only like what? A couple more weeks left in the month?
Yes. Yeah, I think maybe 1 or 2 more episodes.
There you go.
Okay. Got a few more minutes. I got a few more of these. Oh, here we go. We talked about Power Rangers before, but would you lean more Dragon Ball Z or Power Rangers?
The show? We're talking about the show, right?
Yeah.
I'd go with Power Rangers.
Power Rangers?
Yeah. You'd have to wait so long.
Yeah, I would
to
say
watch
Power
Dragon-
Rangers.
DBZ, like, they really stretched those episodes.
I would, yeah.
He'd be doing the Kamehameha for like 3 episodes.
If you notice, like a lot of the Dragon Ball Z episodes, like the majority of the show is just them like,
Yeah, powering up.
just
yeah,
like,
just like
mad at each other.
It's over 9,000.
He's over 9,000, and then you're just like, yeah.
And then half the time Goku gets beat, and then he regenerates or comes back, and then he beats him. Like,
it was definitely that formula of just trying to milk the content for as long as possible.
But I definitely like Power Rangers because, like we had mentioned earlier, going outside playing your friends, that was a thing back then. Like, you'd always argue over who's the Green Ranger, who's green, who's red, whatever.
V just dropped Dragon Ball Z or Naruto. Naruto, I think, came after me. So
Naruto.
You like Naruto?
Naruto, all the way.
I would say, yeah, that was better. I watched it with my son for a bit. I would say it was better than Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, definitely Naruto.
Although I don't know why a lot of these shows are guilty of making the shows way too long. Okay. Blockbuster video rentals or LAN game parties?
Maybe not LAN, but like getting together. I remember guarding the chapel.
Yeah, sure.
On Friday nights, and we bring our Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
4 players, right? Play GoldenEye, play all kinds of the NFL Blitz, all kinds of 4 players, and so I like that.
More than Blockbuster parties?
More than Blockbuster parties, yeah.
So I remember with the Blockbuster parties, like people would, set up, wherever you were going to watch, and then you would send out another group to go get the food, and then hopefully you were not the one assigned to go pick the video, because if you picked the bad movie, you've ruined everyone's night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely ruined people's nights picking some movies.
No,
but I do lean more towards the video rental nights. Yeah, those were fun.
Yeah,
I think apparently those are illegal too. Yeah, because you're
have
like
a watch party.
Yes, because you are basically
like sharing your login or something.
No, it's something about like your broad. I don't know.
I would say as long as you're not monetizing it, right?
Yeah, but if you look at the FBI warning, like having like it would be illegal for you to just play a movie out on the streets, and I think it falls under that same purview.
Really?
Nobody was really prosecuting.
I never read that thing. So.
I think they just had that there in case somebody were really like, oh, let's just just show a movie for free out in the public. I think it covered that. But your Blockbuster movie parties kind of fell under that too.
That's strange.
All right. Oh, they brought up Super Smash Brothers. Who is your go-to?
I like, what's his name? Marth? Is it Marth?
Marth? That's probably one of the later ones.
Yeah.
I'm most familiar with the Nintendo 64. I think Link was my main. Yeah.
Yeah, my kids like to use what's his name? Can't remember.
Okay, so Johnson family brought up Mortal Kombat. So Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat?
Mortal.
The mechanics were way better though in Street Fighter.
The moves were harder to pull off in Mortal Kombat.
That's true.
They were much harder to pull off.
What about Street Fighter or Tekken? I'm Street Fighter.
Street Fighter, because Tekken you could just button mash.
Yeah.
Definitely
That's true.
Just button mash on Tekken.
And how many remember how long it took for Street Fighter 2 to exist before Street Fighter 3 came out? Yeah. I think it was like 10 or 15 years. All right, we're going to go ahead and end on that note. So we thank you for joining us here today. We'd like to give our final shout outs to our INC radio station manager, Brother Wally Tarai, our CFO coordinator and SEBC president, Brother Angelo Arano Manalo, and our executive producer, or our executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. We thank you for joining us here today, and we're going to close out today with a video. Our Kuya Tech can go ahead and play it for our Care for Humanity coverage.
The Iglesianicristo Church of Christ held a Care for Humanity activity in the city of Lubbock, Texas. Brethren traveled from as far away as Dallas, Texas, and Biloxi, Mississippi to be a part of this activity. The Felix Y. Manalo Foundation, which is the charitable arm of the Church of Christ, provided assistance to local residents by offering free blood pressure screenings, handing out care packages filled with groceries, and distributed backpacks filled with school supplies. The members of the Church of Christ also extended an invitation to the City Council for their Care of Humanity activity, and they were honored with the presence of the mayor of the city himself, Mark McBrayer, who was grateful for activities such as this that shows love for fellow men. From the District of South Central States, this is Brother Nathan Russell for the Iglesianicristo Care for Humanity special coverage.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station